All right, here we go. Welcome everybody to Toonkind D&D at 12 FPS. My name is Cade, and I'm joined today by
By Uni!
Uni.
Woo!
Uh, today, okay, so today we're starting in a very popular town in Inkwell called Cinema, which is populated both by real kind and Toonkind. Uh, and it might be familiar to you if you've listened to the sessions of the 11th Law. And in fact, we're heading to a very familiar place to people who have listened to the 11th Law today. We're heading over to Xan's house, and it's about, let's see, it's morning, getting a little bit close to noon. What would Xan be doing around this time?
He's probably tending the garden. Um,
Ah,
he and some of the not toons who reside there with him uh have been working on getting the place a little more homey. It's, you know, much bigger than it used to be, so it's sort of he's making an effort to do something a little more communal. He's trying.
all right, that's neat. So, I guess you're tending to the garden, taking care of all the plants, and suddenly, out from the woods, you hear, Xan!
He looks up.
All right, you see a very familiar little clown in a yellow and blue robe running up to the house all willy nilly. Their shoes kind of squeaking with each footstep, and they say, "Hey, Sam, how you doing?"
Can I ask real quick? Has Ra-Ra been back to the house since the 11th law happened?
Uh, of course, they did come back. To visit a couple times while the house was still being rebuilt and stuff. But eventually, afterwards, they did move on and start to travel and perform a little bit more. And so they've been away for a little. I'd say like a little bit of time, maybe close to a month or so.
That makes sense. And Zan certainly perks up at the sight of Ra-Ra, but Ra-Ra will also not be surprised as their rush in is suddenly blocked by a couple of less friendly looking tunes. There's a big bear and a porcupine who kind of block Ra-Ra's way and it's like, state your business. It sounds like, no, guy, uh, sorry, Ra-Ra.
Laura's like, it's fine, and they look up at the bear and like, don't I know yous?
The bear stares down, very sour at Ra-Ra, and says, state your business.
Oh, I'm just here to see Zan. Chill out.
And already, Zan is trying to, like, clamber down from the like raised platform where the garden is located. It's going, it's okay, Mikhail. It's all right. Mikhail the bear and Pierce the porcupine have not at all reacted to his cries to get them to stand down, but they're like, no one is allowed to enter without the master's permission.
Rara blows a raspberry at him like, Phooey, I'm just here to hang out.
And at this point, Xana's probably sort of come up and just like, yes, we all like to hang out here. That's fine. This is fine. It's nice to have visitors, isn't it, everybody? You can hear the other dudes in the area going like, yes, visitors are great. We love visitors, remember, guys? It's just like every time someone comes to visit, whoever is on duty has to put everyone else through this sort of song and dance. The the two on guard duty do not sort of stand down at all, so Zan just sort of like sidles around them up to Ra-Ra. It's like, Ra-Ra, it's wonderful to see you. What brings you here?
Zan, it's so good to see you too. You know what? I heard there's a carnival in town now. We gotta go see it.
Carnival?
Yeah!
Oh, I did not realize. I don't know if I can really get away. There's a lot of work to be done here.
Ra-Ra kind of sighs like, oh, but there's always time for some fun. Come on. You gotta come with. They grab his hands and they're like, and they kind of shake him and they're like, you gotta come with me.
And then, in proper Tootie fashion, Ra-Ra probably like basically vibrates him, and he's just like, ah. He goes, "Hold, I, that's fine. Um, give give me a moment. I need to check on something to make sure. It's been a while. I would love to spend time with you." And he just sort of like holds up a finger and again just sort of anxiously tiptoes around the guards who are still just like glaring Ra-Ra. Um, uh, and he sort of brushes back to that. I'll be right back. I will be right back. Stay right. I'll be right back. He runs back inside for a moment.
Ra-Ra's
Do
just,
you
yeah.
do you do anything while waiting for him?
No, Ra-Ra's just like, okay, I'll see ya. And they wave, and then they kind of sit there watching him and waiting like a puppy, just kind of smiling and grinning.
Oh, that is so precious. Um, so after not very long, just a couple of minutes, Zan comes out. Looks like he's probably put on a clean robe, and uh you his hair is there has been some effort to retie it into something a little more maintainable. Success is debatable. And he goes, "All right, I've asked Blink to look after things for a minute. Um, did you know Blink was here? He's helping out. Um,
Ra-Ra's eyes
are,
widen a little bit, and they're like, Blinkley's here? Oh gosh, I gotta say hi to him. But first, we gotta go to the carnival. We gotta go.
Oh, and Zan sort of like gives this awkward smile, and he's like, yeah, carnival. It's are you sure are you sure that's where you want to go? There's a lot of things to do in town that also aren't the carnival.
Ra-Ra kind of tilts their head at him, and their little buns kind of flop over to the side, and they're like, well, sure, but it's a carnival. Haven't you
I
been to a carnival?
Not really. It's
I can't. We gotta go then. Carnivals are so much fun. Ain't no place like a carnival. Come on. And they take his hand and they start to tug him along.
and he just sort of looks helplessly back behind him, and meanwhile, like the ones who are guarding are still just like, yeah, you better go, and everyone who's not on guard is like, bye, later. So yeah, Ra-Ra has effectively dragged Old Man Xan along behind them.
Yeah. So Ra-Ra takes him out into town and kind of around the edge of town in this big clearing, they've set up a pretty big carnival. Like it's amazing how fast tunes work because ever since the incident with Ruskej and word spread about that, morale and real kind and tune kind of like their spirits have been kind of low and they've all been nervous like oh geez, what if that guy's kid comes back and tries to ruin things, or what if he escapes from jail or anything like that. And so a bunch of tunes gathered around and decided, hey, we'll set up a carnival. And that's what happened. And Ra-Ra just immediately drags Xan all the way there.
Which is impressive because it is a trek from Zan's house to town. But yeah, I absolutely believe Ra-Ra will drag him the entire way there.
Yeah. So
Um,
once they get there, everything looks really nice and festive. Like there's balloons everywhere, and there's a whole bunch of stalls with games. They've even set up a Ferris wheel and a roller coaster somehow.
and Zan is looking up at them and just like, wow, this was not here last time I came into town. Okay.
Rara looks eagerly at him, and they're like, okay, which first, games or rides?
And he sort of dithers and he goes, you're the expert. Why don't you pick?
Rara thinks a moment, puts her chin, a finger to her chin and taps it, and they're like, oh, let's see, They look around and they look at a big Ferris wheel and they look at a stall that has like one of those balloon dart games, and they're like, rides, and they immediately snatch his hand back up and start to drag him towards the roller coaster.
Oh, good. And Zed is just like, oh, okay. And he's looking up at the roller coaster. I don't know how much attention Ra-Ra is paying, but I guess make an insight check.
Okay, let's see. What's their insight like? They've got a -1 to insight. Let's go.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Three.
That's a 3. That's about that makes perfect sense with how enthusiastic Rara is. And Zan goes, structures that tall, they're not usually like built in just a day or two. I boy, that is a feat of engineering. um,
Rara's like, oh, it'll be fine. I've been on coasters like this one before. It's a hell of a time. And
I'm sure it is.
they get into line, and the line's going pretty quick actually. Because this coaster is a bit of a fast one.
Oh, good.
So it doesn't take like much more than 10 minutes or so for them to get through the line. And they immediately Rara, there's a sign that says you must be this tall to ride, and Rara immediately goes over and makes sure they gotta check their height, and they uh And they're like, yes! Once they figure out they're above the required height, and immediately run to get into one of the cars on the roller coaster, and they're like, come on, Xan, it's gonna be fun.
Xan sort of like takes a second. He like has a moment of just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm too short to. And it's like he's like twice as tall as Ra-Ra,
Yeah.
so he just like goes and sits down next to Ra-Ra.
Yeah.
Goes like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Ra-Ra reaches up and slams the little bar down to go over their laps, and is kind of kicking their legs in the seat, and you can see the person taking care of the ride, which is a tune that looks a little bit like looks like a very short man with a very orange mustache and a little black mask. Taking he says, "Ready, folks," and then slams down the lever, and you're off.
Oh man, and let's see. I'm actually how do I want to do this? I'm going to have Xan roll a Constitution save.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, that's
boy.
a 5. But like you, Ra-Ra, you know, your insight wasn't great, but you can absolutely tell that like by the time the roller coaster reaches the top of the first like hill, his knuckles are white on the bar, and probably by the time it reaches the top of the second dip, he is out cold. He is passed out.
Oh no. Oh no. Ra-Ra, let me roll perception to Ra-Ra to see if they actually like notice that he's passed out. Let's see, what's their perception again? Perception is a wisdom, so that's a -1. But I do believe, yeah, so +2, because they have a proficiency in it. So,
All right.
let's see. I add the proficiency bonus and the wisdom together, right? So it'd just be a +1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be.
Haven't played a game in a while. This one. 11.
That's probably good enough to
Yeah,
notice.
they don't notice it at first because they have their hands stuck in the air and they're like, "Whoa!" and they're having a grand old time. But then they look over like, "Xan, isn't this? Oh no!"
And it, like he was gripping the bar so hard that at least like his hands are still frozen in place, but he is just like conked out. Just yeah.
The ride starts to come to the end, and Ra-Ra kind of grabs a hold of Xan's shoulders and shakes him like, "Wake up! Are you okay, Xan? Xan, are you okay?"
Let's see how this goes. I think make a medicine check.
Oh, medicine. What would they do? They have a -1 for medicine.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Low whiz. They're illiterate. They can't read. They can't do anything smart. Okay. 4.
Woo! That's a 4. You're pretty sure Xan is dead.
The ride comes to a stop. I think Ra-Ra is looking very worriedly around, and then out of their hammer space, they pull a squirt bottle, and they they spray Zan's face like, "Wake up, please!"
And after after a moment, Zan sort of just uh and he for a second he's just like, is he in a cold sweat, or is it water? Maybe it's both. Who knows? It's a mystery. That's the fun part of roller coasters. He goes, oh, that was fun. It was a fun time. Let's get off. He just like gets very, very shakily gets out and is just like, let's move on, for I don't want to talk about that. I don't remember it, and that's probably for the best.
Ra-Ra gets out after him, and like very, very gently, like almost afraid he'll break, they take a hold of his arm and they're like, "Zan, are you alright? I thought you was dead."
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Don't I probably should have made sure I had enough electrolytes in my diet to brace myself for that. It's fine. It's fine. I should eat something and I'll feel better.
Zan, Ra-Ra kind of lights up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, food. Come on, carnival food's the best." And they drag Zan along to like there's a few different booths selling snacks and drinks around, and Ra-Ra immediately goes to one that has a sign displaying funnel cake, and grabs a and buys a bunch of that, and like they get the biggest box they have of it, and you know, tune proportions for food can vary wildly. So it's a big box of funnel cake that's about the size of Ra-Ra's head, and they show Zan, and they're like, "See, funnel cake, can't go wrong with funnel cake."
He goes, yeah, that looks delicious. And he orders a much, much, much smaller portion. He's like, do I eat this with there's no fork, I guess.
Ra-Ra's
uh,
already like tearing bits off and popping them in their mouth, and they're like, "She's in. It's really tasty."
he nibbles on it. He goes, yeah, oh, that's yummy, sure. Um,
It's a whole bunch of sugar. I can't imagine he's too thrilled with it.
yeah, it is extremely sweet, and like he doesn't dislike sweet things, but it's a lot. And he's like, is there okay. He's just like very, very sort of awkwardly, dazedly trying to eat it without getting powdered sugar everywhere. It's not going great.
Yeah.
Um uh
Ra-Ra is very quickly through their batch of funnel cake and going back up and ordering. I've been like the last time I went to a fair or something, they actually had those giant turkey legs at some of the snack stalls, and Ra-Ra gets one of those and starts munching on that. They
um
offer they kind of stick it out at Zan, and they're like, "Want a bite? It's good."
I'm fine. Thank you. And he like I'll give it another shot. Rara can attempt at an insight check.
Okay, let's see how this one goes.
Woo!
11.
11. That's fine. It's not like something that is hard to figure out. It's Zan is not someone who is goes like isn't a total hermit or anything, but you can tell he is extremely uncomfortable being around this many people and out in public. And he just he's gone very, very sort of quiet and awkward. As like you've been here for like 20 minutes and he's already kind of just like in um getting progressively more uncomfortable with this many people around.
Ra-Ra's little fluffy buns kind of droop and they're like, Xan, you don't seem like you're having much fun here.
I It's lovely. I'm just not used to this kind of thing. I don't um this isn't something I've done before, so uh I'm not really sure how to get in the spirit of it. But I'm really glad to be with you while doing this. I like being around you, so it's nice.
Ra kind of smiles, but they're still a little uncertain if Xan's really having a fun time. And they say, well, I'm really glad to be here with you two. You see, the carnival's fun and all, but I just really wanted to spend time with you because I've been on the road so long and it's not easy making friends on the road and I missed you.
I I missed you too. Um, would it be okay if we found a place to sit while we and he's looking like there aren't a whole lot of dining spaces.
Yeah.
Um, but uh eventually he like I don't know if you've seen them at like at state fairs or whatever. There's like seats that
Yeah.
like give you little foot massages while you're sitting.
I haven't seen one of those at the fairs around where I live. I live in redneck area.
Yeah, they're like you put in 50 cents and then they just like vibrate the hell out of your feet.
That's fancy. I want to go to the fair that has that.
um and so yeah, they've got a couple of those set up and he's like, "Oh, here we go. Here's a place to sit and talk. I want to hear more about what you've been up to."
Ra-Ra nods eagerly and goes and joins them in one beside him and puts a little coin in. And, like, as soon as it starts vibrating, it vibrates their whole body and they're like, and they're like,
And
I've been great, Xan.
Zane is kind of in the same mode of like, "Oh, that's wonderful. Oh God, I didn't realize." And it become he like the more Rara tries to talk like that, it actually makes him start to like actually break into a proper smile because it's like this is extremely silly.
Yeah, Rara's still trying to explain what they've been up to, like, oh, I've been to different parts of Ironquell, you see. I've been traveling around. I tried to find my old circus to like see if I could find my sibling, but they moved around a lot too, and so
Oh, well, that's fabulous. I think it's great that you he just like he's like I can't do this. And it's like he actually like breaks down laughing because he's like, what is this? This was such a bad idea.
yeah.
And then after and the actual like vibrato thing only lasts for about 60 seconds, but by the end he's just like descended into giggles.
Ra-Ra beams seeing Xan laugh because I don't really think they've gotten to see that before because they didn't hang around too long, and the events of the 11th Law didn't really prompt much laughter. I mean, Roo Sketch did most of the laughing, and that was against his will, so.
Yeah. Most of the laughing happening there was maniacal in nature.
Yeah.
And Zan didn't do a lot of it. So, despite all his hesitation and discomfort before this, he's finally broken down a little bit. It's just like, I'm sorry. Oh, I should have thought that through. I'm so sorry, Rara.
Ra-Ra's just like, don't worry about it, Xan. It's fun hearing you laugh. You've got a very nice laugh.
Thank you. I guess um, it's you and having Blink around as well has given me a lot more opportunities to do that. So I'm glad.
Ra-Ra beams at him like they're if they had any color, their cheeks would be turning bright red. They're so happy. Um, but as it is, they just kind of say, you know what? Maybe that roller coaster wasn't really your style, but there are a few other rides that maybe you like.
Yeah. Yes, let's try another tack. Let's see what else there is to see. And he looks a little bit more cheered at the notion. He was super nervous coming in, but at least that first wave of discomfort has gotten uh past. So he stands up and sort of shakes out his legs to get the remaining jiggles out.
Yeah. Rara stands too, and they nod eagerly, and they're like, roller coasters, fully. We don't need that. Let's see. And there's this big kind of UFO looking ride, and they're like, oh yeah, this one. I know what this one's about. Let's try it.
Sure. And like he doesn't know what it is, so he's just like, great, looks it's low to the ground, so that's a plus. And it's like Zan is not scared of heights. He just does not trust the Toon construction capabilities, it seems.
Rara takes his hand, and this time they don't really drag him over, more like guide him. They're being a little more gentle now. And I don't know if you've ever been on this ride, but it's my favorite ride to ride at like fairs and stuff.
I
Rara
think
kind
I
of
know which
stands
one
in
this
front.
is.
Yeah, Rara stands in front of it, and there's like, okay, first of all, maybe I should tell you a bit because you said you ain't been to no carnivals before, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay then, so this one's a lot of fun. It spins around real fast, and it sticks you to the wall, and it's great. Come on, let's go. And again, they immediately swerve over to stand by the sign and make sure they're tall enough. And then they dart on. They dart inside the little UFO looking ride.
Zan takes a deep breath and shoot. What is Rara's passive perception?
12.
12. They can hear him sort of murmur something to himself, but they don't quite pick up what it is. But he does follow Ra-Ra inside.
Okay, so Rara immediately gets up against one of the cushioned parts of the wall and pats the one next to him and is like, "Yeah, come here, just lay back against this."
Okay. And he gives a sort of he lays against it and he's like, "Oh, it's a little bit sticky. Okay, that's fine." And goes, so, how fast does this get?
Ra-Ra kind of thinks, and they're like, I don't know, you don't really feel it, I guess. And like a bunch of people filter in and take up most of the seats. There's a few that are empty, and then the door kind of slowly lowers and shuts, and it gets very dark, and then a bunch of like multicolored lights light up in the center, and there's this like kind of there's this little room in the center where there's guys piloting the machine, and it very slowly starts to spin. It's slow at first, but then it speeds up, and Xan will kind of feel himself start to stick to the wall a little bit.
Yeah, and he goes, oh, okay. I'm starting to see what's okay.
It spins faster and faster, and how well would Xan take a ride like this?
If Ra-Ra hadn't given him forewarning, he would have taken it a lot worse. As is, there's sort of like, once it gets really fast, there's sort of like that in between of screaming of terror and also some excitement, where it's just like, oh god. Like, it's I love the notion that Ra-Ra is dragging a pretty old man to these very intense rides.
Let's see. Would Xan be paying much attention to Ra-Ra? Maybe roll perception.
Sure. Roll perception. What's his plus there? Oh, he has good perception.
Okay, good.
Boo. Yeah, he has +8. So let's see. A 26.
Yeah, 26. He looks over to see what Ra-Ra's up to, and Ra-Ra, because they're stuck to the wall, they have flipped themselves upside down and are sitting up, or, well, horizontal, to the floor, and they're sticking their arms out like, whoa!
And there is like a brief moment of he's like, Ra-Ra, be careful, oh god! And he's like, there's the instinct of like, that doesn't look safe. None of this is safe. Ah! And I assume that multiple, Ra-Ra is not the only one who is having fun messing with the gravity of the whole thing. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Xan is just like, ah.
And wait until he gets this. Let's see. Xan starts to feel like he's moving, and the seat slides up.
Oh no!
It slides up and goes ka-chunk as it hits the top, and Ra-Ra's seat does it too.
What now? Oh no! And he is sort of like pressed himself very like as like, obviously the gravity has already put him pretty flat against the wall, but he's just like trying to like brace himself against it. Because what is happening now?
So like, that's about all that happens. Like, slowly the ride does start to slow down, and Ra-Ra doesn't even bother flipping themselves back up as the gravity starts to like unstick them from the wall. Ra-Ra just kind of falls with their back against the floor with a little oof, and then they're giggling. They're like, "That was fun. That was fun. That's my favorite ride."
And that his extremely disheveled at this point. Like, his hair is everywhere. He goes, that was new. And takes a deep breath, and then just like prestidigitation's just like, okay, he's fine, everything's great, completely back in order. um, and he goes, whew, boy, oh, Ra-Ra, you enjoy the fast ones, don't you?
Bro was like, yeah, fast ones are my favorites. But like, did you have fun? Did you have fun?
And he actually has to like take a moment to think about it before he goes, I think I did.
Rama lights up and they're like, yes, I knew you would. Now come on, let's play some games now. And
Yes, that sounds great.
Rama guides him off the ride and towards like into the like thick of the carnival with like a bunch of booths lying on either side of them. And Rara looks around and is like, okay, which one do you want to do now?
He looks around, there's like the water gun at the balloons, and there's the like dart throwing ones, and I don't know, what is it, like basketball hoop things, and he has a moment of like, what are they? And you could actually like tell he's a little bit embarrassed to ask this, but finally he just sort of leans down to Ra-Ra and he goes, what are they for?
Rara looks up at him and they're like, prizes! You can get so much of these. They got so much good stuff. And they look around for one that has some of the biggest, gaudiest prizes. And that one is actually one of those ones where a test of strength. And Rara's like, ooh, I'll go win you a prize. I'll go win you a prize. Come on, let's go to this one. And guides him over. And standing over at the at the game is a big looking kind of rhinoceros tune, but not quite a rhinoceros. It looks more like if a 5-year-old tried to draw a rhinoceros, but like got the horn a little bit wrong. It's a little bit crooked.
Perfect.
Yeah. And he's like, come one, come all, try your strength. Let's see if you got what it takes to ring the bell. And Rara's like, ooh, I got it, I got what it takes.
And it's just like, they have what it takes. pick this one.
The rhinoceros kind of leans forward a little bit, looking at Rara, and they're like, "You sure you got what it takes, kid?" And Rara's like, "Yeah, I got what it takes." I'm gonna have them roll strength for this.
Yes, do that.
Yeah.
Go, Ra-Ra, you are beef.
So that's a +4. All right. 21.
Nice.
That'll do pretty well. Rara like spits on their hands and rubs them together, and then takes a hold of the hammer and hoists it over their shoulder and slams it down. And unfortunately, doesn't quite ring the bell, but it gets pretty decently high. And the rhinoceros looks impressed. He's like, "Huh, you got what it takes, kid. Not quite there, but I'll give you a prize anyways. Take your pick. Off the second row. There's a little kind of rack with a bunch of stuffed animals hanging off it, and Rara yanks Zan's arm over and points, and they're like, "Take your pick. It's for you." And there's a few different colored stuffed bears. There's some stuffed giraffes and some unicorns, and they're all like kind of medium sized. So.
And then like sort of he makes kind of like takes a minute to just sort of like cup a hand over his chin, like because he's just like, he doesn't necessarily want one of these, but he does very much appreciate Ra-Ra getting excited and getting something for him. And finally he goes, one of the unicorns, please.
The rhinoceros nods and takes like a yellow unicorn off the rack and hands it to Xan, and he's like, "There you go. Enjoy the day."
Thank you very much, sir. He's sort of like, then he like stares at it, he goes, "Oh, I have to carry this. Okay." Sort of awkwardly puts it under his arm.
Yeah. Ra-Ra beams up at him, and they're like, "Now come on, there's more games to be played and more prizes to be won." And
I want to. Would it be okay for me to like just like roll a general dex check to see if he's remotely good at any of them?
yeah, sure.
Because I don't know how great wizard hand-eye coordination is. Oh, he does pretty good.
Yeah, 19. That'll do it.
He's got those honed senses.
Yeah.
So yeah, he actually winds up doing a little bit of like tossing rings at bottles and sort of like that, and things that don't involve a lot of physical strength, but aiming he can do.
Ra-Ra looks so proud of him as he starts playing games and stuff, and they're kind of just they've got their hands over their mouth and their nose, and they're like they're bouncing, and they're thinking that Xan must be having a great time by now with the games, at least.
And after he does pretty okay, he never like quite gets to the top prize tier, but he gets to pick some smaller prize. He goes, "It's your turn, Rara. What would you like?"
Ra-Ra beams up at him, and they're like, "For me?"
Absolutely. I owe you for getting me to come here. It's all for you.
Ra-Ra just looks so touched, and they put their hand over their heart, and they're like, "Oh, thank you." And they pick out a very nice looking pink, a little pink cat. And when the like game master or whatever brings it over, they make little grabby hands like, "Gimme," and then hug it close to their chests.
Yay! Oh, so cute.
They're like, "I'm gonna name it Nix, like a friend."
And Zan gives another little chuckle, and he goes, "I'm sure Nyx would be honored."
The day is starting to get a little bit past noon now. They've been at it for a while, and it's starting to get a little bit later in the day. And Ra-Ra's like, okay. Now what next? How about the Ferris wheel? We haven't been to the Ferris wheel yet.
Sure. And you now that he's like been on a couple of rides, both of them have been fast ones, and so now he's starting to like brace himself.
Ra-Ra takes his hand and pulls him over to the Ferris wheel, and the line is pretty short for this one as it's getting later in the day, and they climb onto one of the cars, and Ra-Ra pulls the door shut and then kind of sticks their feet up on the little wall, because like this is one of those cars that has like a little roof and a little back wall, and then the three other sides are open, and they stick their feet up and lean back, and they're like, this is gonna be relaxing.
And Zan kind of like nudges their feet down to like rest on at least like the bench and be like, please be careful. And sits down.
Ra-Ra, as the ride starts to slowly move them up once they're on, Ra-Ra's like, you know what? Today's been great. I can't wait to hang out with you some more.
Zan smiles and he goes, yes, this has been lovely. I admit I wasn't too sure about leaving the house unattended, but I'm glad that you thought of me when you saw this carnival. It was very sweet of you, Ra-Ra.
Ra-Ra kind of makes a little hand gesture, and they're like, don't worry about it. You know, I missed you so.
Yeah, I said it before, but it's been really, really nice getting to see you and Blink again. I guess I sort of, well, it's nice to have company that isn't, caught up in, at least.
Ra-Ra
Um,
nods.
he sort of fiddles with sort of the hem of his robe, and he says, Ra-Ra, so I don't want you to worry, but I am going to be going on a little trip soon, and hopefully it won't be a long one, but I just didn't want you to find out that I'd left without letting you know.
Ra-Ra kind of looks up at him curiously, like, what kind of trip? Is it gonna be a fun one?
Oh, I hope so. There's a big party happening, and
A party? Oh, I wish I could come. I'm great at parties.
I know you are. Unfortunately, I don't. Well, you have to get invited to go, and I already promised Blink he could come, but hopefully we'll come back fast and be able to throw our own party with you.
Ra-Ra looks up at him. Well, I hope you have fun, and you better promise me that you will.
And Zen sort of uh twiddles his thumbs a little bit. He goes, "Yeah, I promise to to do what I have most wanted. And if I can accomplish what I want at that party, then it will be a delightful occasion."
Ra-Ra's like, uh, that's a weird way of putting it, but okay.
Rara's just like, yeah, sure, sounds legit.
Yeah.
um, bless Rara. It's just like, who needs follow-up questions?
Yeah. Uh, they start to get to the top of the Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel stops for a moment, and Rama gets all excited, like, oh, look down, and like they look over the side of the cart down at cinema below. Like, this is a pretty big Ferris wheel.
He goes, "Whoa, that is quite a view." You know, Zan's house is pretty high up, but it is, still in the forest, so you don't get to see as far out, and it's pretty neat. You can like I assume you can get a pretty nice view of the ocean from towards the top.
Yeah. Rava is just like, oh, look at the sea, isn't it pretty? I haven't been to the sea before. I haven't been around there, but well, I've
You've
been kind of close to it here, but I haven't actually like been out there and I want to go across that sometime. I want to see outside of Inkwell, and I want to make real kind folks happy. I want to go out there and see all of them.
and Zan goes, "Yeah, I think a lot more real kind people would be pleased if they had a friend like you to cheer them up. I think there's a lot of wonderful things in this country, and I'm really glad that I came here. It would be nice if more of the world were like here."
Rara looks up at him, and they're like, have you been outside of Inkwell?
And he laughs. He goes, "Well, I wasn't born here, you know."
Rara's like, wow, what's it like out there?
Um, well, things are uh very, very complicated, and some of it's in good ways. There's always something new to see and something new to explore. And also, it's a little bit scary sometimes, but I suppose the same can be said of Inkwell, but um I don't know. If I very much like it here. But then again, and he gives an awkward sort of chuckle. It's like, well, the grass is always greener, I suppose. Growing up out there, I was always very curious about other places aside from my home as well, and I suppose it's the same for anyone.
Rara kind of nods, and they're like, well, maybe you could take me to like some places you know out there sometime.
Sure. Once once I've helped fix everything and got everyone back to normal, I think it would be nice to go on a trip and see some sights with all of you.
Rara kind of sits back down against their seat and leans back, and they're like, you know what? I hmm. And they stop and they think a little bit. And they're like, I want to hang around here more often. I like traveling and I like performing, and I want to keep doing that. But I don't have nearly as many friends out there as I do here with you and Blinkley, and maybe Marion and Nix will come back sometime.
I hope so. Rava, can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
You you said before you had your own carnival. Why why aren't they together anymore?
Oh, you mean my circus? Well,
Yes, that's right.
uh, I guess it's kind of complicated, like you said about outside of Inkwell. The ringmaster, he was a little bit nasty, and it the circus. I liked making people happy at the circus. It was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of interesting folks, and I had some friends in the circus, and I even have a little sister. Her name's Teehee, and well, one day Teehee was getting all worried, and the ringmaster was still a nasty man, and Teehee asked me to leave, and I wanted them to come with me, but they were like, no, no, you go, Ra-Ra, and I'll stay back here. I want to make things better. And I was like, why can't I help you? And they're like, no, no, Ra-Ra, no, you gotta go. And I went.
I see. Well, it sounds like your your sister was very brave and loved you very much.
Yeah, he's very sweet. I want to see them again sometime, but the circus has moved. I can't find it anymore. I want to see Teehee again.
Well, um, I I confess I've been a bit too busy to pay much attention, but I hope that I can help the two of you get together again sometime. I'd love to meet her. If she's anything like you, sure we'd get along splendidly.
I think she'd really like you too, Xan. You're a really nice guy.
Well, I try.
And Rara gives him a hug.
He blinks. He's a little surprised, but after a moment, he gives Ra-Ra a little hug as well.
Rara kind of hugs him for a while and gives him a little squeeze, and then draws back, and they're like, I I wonder what it's gonna be like on your trip. Maybe I could come.
Uh, I'll I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I'll try to figure something out. It'd be nice to have you there. Um, but unfortunately, I don't know if the people we're visiting like too many surprises, but I'll see if I can get them to make an exception.
Rara nods, and they're like, it's okay if I don't get to go. I just hope you and Blinkley have fun, and I'll be waiting for you here when you get back, I guess. If I don't get to go.
I'll if I can't make it happen, then I promise I will bring you back a present.
A present for me? That would be way too sweet, Xan.
It is the absolute least I can do as thanks for being such a wonderful friend.
Aw, shucks. You're making me blush. And they put their little fingers on their little rosy cheeks, though they're gray, of course, and kind of
Right.
twist them up like and smile, and they're like, "You're making me blush."
um and Zan looks out over the Ferris wheel has started descending
Yeah,
again, but
definitely.
still relatively high up, and he looks out over the ocean again, and is quiet for a moment, and then he goes, I'm hungry again. Do you think they have any of the that poofy color stuff still available?
You mean the funnel cake?
That too. Let's
Oh
let's
wait,
get
no,
some
cotton
more.
candy, cotton candy.
That's what it's called. I always it's not cotton, so I wasn't. Let's go get some of that.
Yeah.
um And I figure unless you have more stuff planned, that could be a cute place to
Yeah.
leave it.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
That was full of very good, very nice feelings.
Yes.
It's
Yay.
just a nice day where two good beans get to have fun at the carnival.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cade, for planning this because my brain is too fried. But this was extremely pure and precious.
Thank you so much for joining me. That was a whole bunch of fun, and I'm glad that we got to have a nice moment between Ra-Ra and Xan because I've missed Xan. I've missed Ra-Ra. I've
Yes.
missed the 11th Law Gang.
Yeah. I hope that we'll get to see more of Roberta soon, and uh hopefully it put a pin in more drama.
Yeah. But I guess I'll stop the recording here and say bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.